Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. This presentation will explore the research question: in what way can integrating visual and digital modes of literacy enhance spelling outcomes for lower primary students with dyslexia? This inquiry is framed through a multi-literacy framework, which highlights that literacy is not limited to written text but involves multiple modes such as visual, digital, gestural, and spatial. Before I begin, it is important to define dyslexia. The International Dyslexia Association describes it as the neurobiological learning difference that affects accurate and fluent word recognition, decoding, and spelling. It stems from difficulties with the phonological component of language, and it is not related to intelligence. It's simply a difference in how the brain processes written language. This topic is both personal and professional. I was diagnosed with dyslexia in grade 3 and vividly recall the frustration of spelling lists that relied on memorization and repetition. In my teaching placement, I have seen students experience the same challenges, disengaging from spelling tasks because they felt defeated. Yet, when teachers used multimodal strategies like interactive digital tools or color coded word maps, students became noticeably more motivated and confident. These experiences inspired me to explore more visual and digital support can make spelling instruction more inclusive and effective for learners with dyslexia. Dyslexia is often identified through reading difficulties, but spelling deserves just as much attention. While reading involves decoding, spelling involves encoding, actively constructing word forms from sound symbol relationships. Research shows that spelling practice leads to unique learning gains beyond reading activities, particularly for multisyllabic words. Encoding requires learners to recall grapheme-phoneme correspondence and build orthographic memory, skills that reading alone doesn't strengthen in the same degree. Because dyslexia involves challenges with phonological awareness and orthographic mapping, students often find writing and spelling even harder than reading. Without explicit instruction, these gaps widen, affecting writing fluency, vocabulary, and overall literacy development. For this reason, spelling must be taught explicitly and multimodally, not assumed to develop incidentally. The Multiliteracies framework provides a powerful way to design inclusive spelling instruction. It recognizes that literacy involves far more than print. It includes visual, spatial, digital, and linguistic modes. For students with dyslexia, this framework creates multiple access pathways. Since phonological processes can be challenging, multimodal learning helps by linking words to visual, auditory, and interactive cues. Recent research on digital learning showed that including phonic tools with embedded visuals improved children's sound symbol knowledge. Although the study focuses on reading, these findings apply directly to spelling. When grapheme are paired with images or interactive support, learners can store word patterns more effectively. By presenting literacy through multiple modes, teachers can reduce reliance on phonological memory and strengthen confidence among dyslexic learners. Studies on digital and visual tools provide strong evidence of their effectiveness. One project involved iPad-based interactive text showed that combining graphemes, sounds, and images significantly improved phonic awareness. For dyslexic learners whose spelling challenges stem from weak phonic segmentation and limited orthographic storage, this multimodal design provided essential reinforcement. Visual digital support makes relationships between sound and letters explicit while easing cognitive load. In this way, digital multimodal phonics does more than help reading. It lies the foundation for accurate spelling by building the same cognitive pathways needed for encoding. Evidence also shows that multisensory computer-based programs can also improve literacy skills for students with dyslexia. In one study, a school-based computer program significantly enhanced phonemic awareness and decoding, which are the same skills required for spelling accuracy. Another trial using a multisensory digital program led to marked gains in reading accuracy by combining auditory, visual, and kinesthetic elements, especially effective for students who struggle with phonological only tasks. Although these studies measured reading outcomes, they address the underlying neurological profile of dyslexia, targeting phonological and orthographic processes that also drive spelling success. Together, these findings show that technology embedded multisensory instruction provides a research backed way to strengthen literacy for dyslexic learners. Dyslexia doesn't only affect how students process sound, it can also involve challenges with visual attentional processes, which influences how learners perceive and retain written word. Research into visual search training has shown that strengthening a child's ability to focus on letter patterns and spatial sequencing can lead to measurable gains in reading accuracy and fluency. In classroom practice, teachers can build these skills through using color coding to highlight grapheme phoneme patterns and reduce confusion between similar letters, chunking syllables into smaller units to lower cognitive load and improve recall, incorporating icons, shapes, and symbols for irregular spelling patterns to create memorable visual anchors. These practical design choices help students attend more precisely to orthographic features, improving pattern recognition and making spelling tasks more accessible and engaging for learners with dyslexia. Dyslexia intersects with many forms of diversity, including language backgrounds. Evidence from recent research found that English learners with dyslexia benefited from the same structured literacy interventions as monolingual students. This demonstrates that effective dyslexia support are also inclusive tools that enhance learning for multilingual students. This approach aligns with the general capacity literacy in Australian curriculum, which emphasises access to and equity for all students, and with the APST 1.6, which requires teachers to make adjustments to support full participation of students with disabilities. By addressing the specific challenges of dyslexia, teachers can simultaneously strengthen literacy outcomes across diverse classrooms. Drawing on research, I propose a classroom spelling program grounded in the multiliteracies framework and informed by multisensory and digital learning principles. Visual support will include picture morpheme maps, color-coded grapheme, and icons that represent irregular spelling rules. These cues make orthographic patterns explicit and strengthen visual attentional processes. Students will also co-construct word walls and digital spelling portfolios to increase ownership, repetition, and engagement. Digital tools such as interactive word building, drag and drop morpheme puzzles, and spelling applications with real time corrective feedback will provide differentiated practice. These multimodal activities enable learners to manipulate letters and sound dynamically, reinforcing grapheme phoneme mapping while reducing cognitive load, critical to dyslexic learners. Assessment will include weekly diagnostic detection, where each student's errors are coded by type, phonological, orthographic, or morphological. This analysis will guide targeted small group instruction and progressive scaffolding, moving from simple CVC patterns to blend and morpheme-based spelling. This approach directly targets the phonological and orthographic difficulties centered to dyslexia while creating multiple entry points for engagement. The research based clearly supports these designs. Spelling specific practice yields distinct benefits. Visual and digital tools reinforce grapheme phoneme mapping, and multisensory technology enhances foundational literacy. Moreover, these same interactive promote inclusion for multilingual learners, ensuring that spelling instruction is equitable, engaging, and evidence-based. This research connects directly to the Australian Professional Standards of Teaching. Standard 2.5 refers to literacy. Teachers must explicitly teach spelling and word level literacy. Research confirms that spelling instruction cannot simply be assumed to improve through reading alone. Standard 1.6 refers to students with disabilities. Learners with dyslexia need multimodal scaffolding, assistive digital tools, and consistent progress monitoring. Evidence also shows these supports benefits multilingual students, making it doubly inclusive. Grounding teaching practice in this evidence ensures that spelling instruction is both effective and equitable. Finally, I reflect on the inquiry using the 4R model reporting. During my schooling and teaching placement, I saw dyslexic learners struggling with spelling lists and relied on memorization and repetition. Relating this resonates deeply with my personal experience of being diagnosed. I understand how discouraging traditional spelling approaches can feel when they don't cater to your learning. Reasoning. The body of research shows that visual, digital, and multisensory scaffolds can counter the phonological and orthographic difficulties at the heart of dyslexia. Supporting studies confirm the importance of multimodal design and visual attentional support. Reconstructing. Moving forward, I will implement multimodal spelling cycles that include visual digital tasks, regular diagnostic analysis, and interactive adjustments. These strategies directly address the learning profile of dyslexia while ensuring equitable access for every student in my care.